Well, hi, I'm Bob from My Life in 75 square feet. And that's 75 luxurious square feet. And in this episode, I'd like to continue with relationships, part 2, doing the upfront work. In 2003, I met S, and she lived 75 miles away. We dated for 4 years. We basically lived a vacation for those 4 years, getting together on the weekends. In 2007, we got married, and immediately we found out that we had some pretty big differences that caused problems. We decided to go the route of counseling, and over the 6 years that we were married, we went to 3 different counselors. The first one, we'll call him Dr. M. And he was pretty good. I really liked Dr. M. But for some reason, we didn't seem to get better with Dr. M. Now, a counselor can't fix your relationship. They can only help you. You have to fix your own problems. We next went to another counselor, Jay. Now, Jay was out there a little bit, although he had some really good ideas. He said, if you can make your marriage 1% better, 2% better, or even 3% or more better in a week, that's a good starting point, and incrementally you can make your relationship much better. That didn't last long. We finally went to the last guy, G. And you know, G had the best approach out of all 3 counselors we went to, but by the time we got to G, I think it was a little too late. Right off the bat, G noticed that we were horrible at making decisions together. And he noticed that we lived on a vacation the whole time we dated. And we didn't take the time to get to know how each other thought. And that's the biggest thing for helping you make decisions. After our first or second meeting with G, he gave us a homework assignment. He said, for the next week, I want you two to find one thing that you two agree on. So the next time when we went there, we couldn't find one thing that we agreed on, and he said the writing is basically on the wall for your relationship. It's better to end it than to go on. Now, we went a couple more times to G, and then we decided to get separated. I continued on counseling with G because I liked some of the ideas he had. And they were different than anything I ever learned. He began to dissect S's and my problems from the beginning of our relationship. He mentioned one of the biggest things that we didn't do at the beginning of our relationship was getting to know how each other thought. He also mentioned that there are no manuals for relationships, although each relationship should come with its own manual. He also mentioned when most people start out a relationship, it's an exciting time. And most people don't show their worst parts in a relationship, even if the dating period goes on for 4 years. They don't show their worst parts. They don't teach each other how they think. They only want to have a good time. Again, it's exciting. So he talked about doing upfront work. And I'm like, wow, this is really foreign to me, upfront work. G suggested that every time you get together with someone you're starting a relationship with, you should teach them one item of how you think. Because no 2 people in this world think exactly the same. Now, I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. We had the same parents, we grew up in the same house, and we each thought totally differently. Now, my 2 brothers and I think closer than our 2 sisters, okay? But you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, or whatever. See, the reason G said that you need to teach each other how you think is to see if you could actually handle the differences that you may have. Although you can't change the other person, you may be able to find a way to make decisions and to live with your differences of thinking. Now, some items are so big of an item that if you disagree on, it may be better to end the relationship. Now I'm going to give you a hypothetical example. Now this is only hypothetical. Say I like green. No, I love green. But say S hates green. Now she hates green so much that if she even hears me mention green, it's going to cause a big problem. If you have that issue with green and maybe you have another issue, maybe S isn't the right person to have a relationship with. Now let's take another example using green. Say I love green and S loves red. She's okay with me liking green and loving green, and I'm okay with her loving red. Then that's okay. Here's where a problem comes in, where I say I don't like green and S doesn't say anything. I used to think that meant, oh, she agrees with me, so she's not saying anything. What G taught me was that is a red flag. And you need to drill down and say, well, tell me, S, what do you think about green? And S is going to say something. And if you don't like S's answer, you drill down a little more and say, well, S, how about if I talk about green every single day? Are you going to be okay with that? See, you want to know these differences up front. You don't want to wait till you're living in the same household to know your differences. We could substitute many items for green. That was only hypothetical. You know, something you could substitute for green would be maybe where you keep your household money, what kind of accounts, how you spend the household money, maybe how you think about God. How do you plan on making decisions together, especially when you disagree? See, there are all kinds of examples. And by teaching the person how you think, you have a better chance of learning how to make decisions together. To sum all this up, my hopes are that this video will help just one person out there. And if it does, I'll already be successful. If you like this video, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button and give it a thumbs up. I'm going to also ask that you subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you'll be notified of my new videos coming out. Until next time, have a good day.